Hello, my name is Kendall and welcome to Kendall's Corner. Today I wanted to discuss articulation and specifically different kinds of bow strokes. I mentioned in a previous session the concepts of contact point and a little bit about pressure and the roles of the fingers, as well as the amount of bow or bow speed. So we're going to talk about some elements in the specific types of strokes that you'll see in your music. The most general of them is a basic détaché stroke, which is a detached, it means detached. And what we're looking for is a start and stop of this stroke. You can hear the stroke stopping and starting like so. That stroke normally requires a nice quality sound on the middle contact point in a mezzo forte, using quite a bit of bow and a strong speed so that the sound really rings. All of the technical elements have to be there in order to produce a nice quality sound. When we smooth out the bow changes, or even do multiple fingers or multiple notes within one bow, then we're talking about legato. Now, legato, the important element of that, especially when we're changing bow stroke, is to keep the string ringing as we change. Normally, it is easier for students at the tip than at the frog. And at the frog requires a very unique motion, which I can describe in another session, involving circles and coordination of each element of the arm. So this legato stroke, it's helpful to have relatively quick bow changes and slowing the bow in the middle, like so. Legato. Staccato, which many students find in the first book of Suzuki, is sometimes what people call a popcorn bow. Some people describe it as a separated bow. And basically, it is an on-the-string stroke, similar to détaché, using less bow and sometimes involving a little more finger motion, like so. And if you saw there, I did the stroke both using my fingers and hand as well as involving my forearm near the end. Now, staccato bows can also be used all up bow or all down bow in much more advanced and virtuosic pieces, like so. That's staccato. Spaccato, with a P, is an off-the-string stroke. I like to think of it as starting with a nice quality détaché and lifting our elbow a little bit so that we get more of a bouncing motion. It usually should start on the string and then be off. Similar to, some people like to describe it as a basketball, that the momentum of the stroke carries the spiccato. And where you do it within the bow dictates how fast it is, how far away from the string the stroke bounces, and also how loud it is. So here's some examples. We'll start very low. So you want to have control of this stroke, at least starting from the middle of the bow all the way to the frog and back. Normally, a spiccato closer to the middle of the bow will be softer and sometimes can be slower. Or as you approach the balance point, which is the ideal place to place spiccato, this is a place where we can get a nice quick spiccato off the string, but close to it. And then getting very close to the hand is where we can get a really heavy spiccato. Another stroke that's important is martelé. And martelé I like to think of as anywhere in the upper half. Martelé is a pinching motion and kind of an accent at the beginning of the stroke, and then a sustained bow with a definitive end to the sound, like so. And the pinching motion specifically comes from the first finger pushing down and lessening the space between the bow, stick, and hair. It's martelé. There are more advanced strokes like ricochet, which have less involvement in control and more involvement in understanding the physics of the violin, and those kinds of strokes are in more like concertos, like Mendelssohn Violin Concerto. But in general, these are the types of articulation markings and stroke details that you will see in your pieces. So I hope that this helps recognize how to do some of these strokes. And until next time, stay safe and well. Bye-bye for now.